First of all, hi Sophie, welcome to India today. It's such a
Thank you so
pleasure to
much.
have you here.
Thank you so much, Nirali. Lovely to be here.
Yeah, lovely to be speaking to you after a long time, first of all. Firstly, congratulations. Your song is doing well, very well on social media and on YouTube. I want to know what's the best feedback that you have received for the track.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much. It's not even been, but I think it's just been 24 hours now. So it feels really good to get that kind of feedback. I think two comments, which will be, or three maybe, which are really precious to me. The first was when Varun Dhawan saw it.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God, okay, so not because it's you. I want to tell you this has a genuine chance. This has a genuine chance. It's really good. That felt good. Karan's response of how it's one of his favorite songs and we've done full justice to it. That was really nice. But I think Bappi Da's son, because originally Gori Hai Kalaiyan was by Bappi Lahiri, and Bappi Da's son, Bappa, has been known to me for many years. And when he messaged me to say, thank you for keeping dad's legacy alive, and he would have loved this version, and he loved you very much. I think that meant everything because the person who created it, when his own son, who's a music director, is saying that, that felt very special.
But on this note, I want to ask you: Is Gori Hai the version of yours, in a way, a tribute to Babida and Lata Didi?
I don't think I'm far too small to be able to give a tribute to such icons, but I guess I realized even when I did Ik Pardesi Mera Dil Le Gaya, a lot of people had not heard the original even then. And it's really funny because for a lot of us, Gori Hai Kalaiyan is very nostalgic. But you know, the team that I worked with on this song, the choreographer and the dancers, they're between the age of 19 and 22. उन्होंने कभी original गाना सुना ही नहीं है.
Mhm.
So it's really amazing that by sometimes by doing a remake, yes, you keep the song alive, but people also revisit the old one.
Yeah.
And I hope that that's what happens. In a way, yes, it is a tribute to these icons, but I still feel I'm too small to do something like that. It's just my way of keeping the songs that I've loved and that are iconic to me and keeping them alive.
Yeah, but I personally do feel that just as Papa said, that you have done full justice to the track.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. It was really important to me to do that. And I
Mhm.
feel like by just keeping the hook but creating the rest of it new, it has that feeling nostalgic vibe for all of us who know the song, and yet something very fresh and new for everybody else who doesn't.
Yeah, just as you mentioned that it's fresh, it's upbeat, and it has this peppy vibe to it. I want to know,
Yeah.
was it a conscious effort on your part to bring your own Sophie touch to the track, to Gori Hai?
Yeah, definitely, because I think the last few
Mhm.
songs I did, even though they were peppy, a lot
Mhm.
of the feedback that I got was that you're not dancing, like you're
Yeah.
not dancing enough. We miss you dancing. And everybody's always asking me, when are you going to do Ik Pardesi again? And I'm like, I can't do Ik Pardesi again. So what can I do that makes
Mhm.
them feel or reminds them of that, but is new? I feel like you have to be really realistic nowadays about the fact that songs need to trend, and a way for them to trend is by a lot of people doing reels and whatever other apps that they use to put the songs out. That's what makes the song really popular, and you can't deny that in today's day and age. So I think the hook music that we created, it was a conscious decision. The hook step that
Yeah.
we worked on, the conscious decision that everybody should be able to do this and
Yeah.
enjoy doing it. And like I said, it's not even been 24 hours, but already I'm seeing people doing it. So that means that it's catching on, right? And I'm hoping that in the next week or so, we see a lot more people doing it because that was the objective.
Absolutely. But also, out of all the compliments that you have received so far from your fans, especially, which is the one compliment that has kind of brought a smile to your face?
Oh God, like I mean, people saying like you're truly the OG pop diva, or like finally back and showing them how it's done or something like that, which is really, really sweet. It feels good. Like people, like, for a girl who came from London and I've never had any help, any backing or anything, and somehow I made a niche for myself. And for people to know my face, know my name, know my songs, that means I created a space for myself. So when I do something and people like, yes, like that's what we wanted, then that means I have an identity. and that they love that I've brought that back. So yeah, that's a very good feeling, to be honest.
Also, I found it very sweet of Varun to, kind of have launched your song on IG Live with you. How did you personally feel that gesture from Varun?
I mean, honestly, I say this unabashedly that he's one of the loveliest, most genuine people in this industry, and he will always stand by his friends. But he'll also do it because he really believes in it. And he really did believe in the song when he saw it, when he saw it, he was like, what are we doing for this song? What's happening? What have you planned? He was like pushing me more than I had even thought about. I just literally went to ask him that, will you launch the song? He said, what else can we do? So calls are coming. One second. So I think Varun is a very, very special person, a very special individual, and I'm so grateful. And I think the way we launched it also, I mean, we could do the typical launch where he comes and we do the
Yeah.
photographs and we unveil the. But I think, especially after COVID and things like that, I think people are much more aware of online. I think a digital launch is much more relevant. People don't have all the time in the world. So when it's done in this way, it kind of feels personal also because we're all on live together. So I feel like the way the launch was done was very sweet. He said some very sweet things. I didn't know he used to crush on me. He never told me
Oh.
that before.
What was
That
your
was
reaction to
sweet.
that?
I was anyway so overwhelmed with the launch. Then he's
Yeah.
like, I used to crush on him. I'm like, really? You never told me this. But it's the sweetest thing. He's just very, very sweet and very genuine. And I really thought the way the launch happened was nice. At least we've got a lot of good feedback for it. It was just very real. It was very sweet. And I feel like that's just a nice way to launch a project like this.
Absolutely. That's lovely. Also, Sophie, I was going through the YouTube comments of your song yesterday, and I found this one comment from a fan from Nepal who just pointed out that it was very sweet of you to have included girls of all size and complexion in the track. And that's how you have also broken certain stereotypes related to music videos. I want to know, what do you think of the same,
Oh,
and what's your reaction to it?
oh wow, I need to go and read that comment and thank the person. Honestly, I was really clear about this video. When I spoke to my choreographer, I told him I don't want any international dancers. I want Desi Ladkiyan. Because no disrespect, and I always say everyone's working and no disrespect to anybody, but I'm really tired of seeing the same old videos with the same glamour, the same gadi, and the same fast cutting, and the same nightclub. I'm tired. We're all tired. So it was really important to me to create something different. For this song, I needed Desi Ladkiyan. And I did tell him I want girls of all complexions. Like, complexion is not a criteria for me. I just want girls who are amazing dancers. And, when he did tell me like a couple of the girls are like not your typical, like, skinny, tall, whatever. I was like, I don't care. Are they good dancers? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, that's all that matters. So it wasn't a point to me that I'm sitting here to make a video focusing कि we're being very inclusive and isko highlight karte hain because of this. I don't think that's there in the video at all. I think everyone blends as one. And that's how it should be, right? Everyone is together like a female army, empowered, beautiful. And I genuinely feel that, that talent should kind of override all of those things. I feel like there's no point in talking about inclusivity if we're not going to do it. So for me, all these girls who were in the video, for most of them, it was the first time they were ever doing a music video. Even for my choreographer, it was his first ever. So I kind of feel like there was that a lot of positive energy, a lot of first time energy.
Yeah.
And when that's there now, that's that feeling that humne kuch karke dikhana hai.
Right.
And that kind of comes across rather than people who are doing this all the time. So I don't know. I feel like if people watch the video and they notice that and they feel represented, then that's a huge thing.
Mm.
I didn't make it thinking I want everyone to feel represented. I just made it feeling like anyone who's good should be part of it. And that's it.
Absolutely. But also, one thing that I personally noticed about the track is that there is this golden and red theme to the entire track. You wearing those golden dress and the girls wearing the gold dress. I mean, that was beautiful. Was that
Yeah.
decision taken keeping anything specific in the mind?
I said to the girls that I don't want it to look that like there's one artist and then, backup dancers, and like I want everyone to look amazing. And so when it came to their costumes, I literally sat and designed them and took out all the references. I knew what I wanted. And my amazing costume designer, Jerry, and I, like, we worked really hard on the color themes and to give it that vibe, because I feel the song obviously has an Indian vibe, but it does have that slight Arabic Moroccan touch. So I wanted those kind of feelings and those kind of things to translate in the costumes as well, which is there. You know, you have that little Arabic-y tent. So you have that vibe. At the same time, for me, it was really different. My red outfit is a bandhani outfit,
Oh,
which
wow.
is really different. I've never done that, you know, like you could do anything, but we did bandhani. For the
Hmm.
metallic one, we did like a lot of coins and chains and things like that. So we tried to do things like a little bit differently. So I guess it was a very conscious decision, the color palette, the way everyone should look, the girls' hair, the fact that they also had churiyan, everything was very thought of. Yeah, for sure.
And that came out really beautifully on in the song.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad.
Yeah, but also you have been associated with music for a long time now, Sophie. Do the number of views, hits, and likes matter to you as a musician?
I mean, I mean, they do matter to an extent, but they matter when they're real, right? I mean, I think we've all been in this business long enough to know that there's a lot of marketing and gimmicks and games that are played to, up the numbers here, there, and everywhere to show how successful someone is. And I've never played that game, and I don't know if I want to play that game, because I genuinely want people to love the song for real, and on reels, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, the success of a song, of course, it matters. And in this case, a lot, because I produced the whole thing myself. I really worked on every detail, from the set design to the costume to the sound, everything. I've been so involved in this. So it has consumed me, and I'm very passionate about it. So it does matter to an extent. But I think the real success of a song is when you know that people are playing it, when it's being played at weddings or in clubs, or people are listening to it, or when they're copying the dance step and stuff. That's when you really know the success of a song. So, you know 24 hours now, and I guess we'll know in the next week.
It's always onwards and upwards.
Yes, I think that's the only way to look at it. I mean,
Yeah,
there's always going to be a little bit of negativity when you do a remake, especially.
yeah,
And generally, there's negativity anyway nowadays. People don't want to like anything.
yeah.
But so far, even like how you said with the YouTube comments, I haven't had a chance to read all of them.
Mm,
But what I saw so far was very positive. So
yeah,
that feels good.
exactly. Because especially when you do a remake, people have this thing of comparing the new one with the old one, but that is something that has not happened with Gori Hai, I must say.
Touch wood. Yeah, that's interesting. But it's so ironic, because the same people who want, if they want to criticize, they're the same people who keep asking me to do Ik Par Desi.
Yeah,
I'm like, wo bhi to remake tha, and now you're
yeah,
asking me to remake my remake. So I'm
yeah,
like, wo bhi to remake hai,
yeah,
right? So I'm
exactly.
like, yeah. So I'm like, you can't say that every remake is a bad job. Some of them are not great. Some of them have been amazing. So it's
Yeah,
okay once in a while if we do it.
absolutely. But also, growing up, which musicians or singers did you look up to your idols, and which era of Bollywood music do you consider as the golden era of Hindi music?
I mean, of course, we have the Panchamda era, which was absolutely classic. I mean, those tunes and that vibe, and oh my God, it was incredible. But I do think 90s music is epic. I mean, 90s as an era was unbelievable. The kind of variety we had, from like you have from a Tip Tip Barsa Pani to an Oh Jane Jana to a Tujhe Dekha Tu Ye Jana Sanam. I mean, it's like so diverse. And these are songs which stay with us forever. Till date, these are the songs that get you going on a dance floor, at a party, at a wedding. Even if you're sitting listening by yourself, you still love these songs. So for me, 90s was really special. In terms of singers and music directors, I, of course, adore Bappi for what he
Mhm.
did through the 80s and the 90s. I'm a big Asha Ji fan. For me, Asha Ji is like, she's just like the coolest, sassiest voice that there is. She's amazing. And growing up, I was a big fan of Nazia Hassan.
Yeah.
So I love that little pop vibe, like that slightly different voice. I've always liked that.
Yeah. But do you personally believe that, the era of the pop music should be back again? I mean, with you coming up with Gori Hai.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's not just up to me, it's up to everyone. I think the era of
Mm,
independent music is definitely back. There was a time when pop music videos were bigger than movie songs. That's kind of when my first stuff all came, and that's
mm,
probably why it was so big. And then the tables turned and movie music became much bigger, and independent artists kind of hum thode baith gaye the. There wasn't that much
right.
to do. And now when you look at the way films are being made, you realize that music isn't so important in movies anymore. Before, sometimes, we would go and see a movie just because the music was good. Today, sometimes they're not even lip syncing the songs because they
Mm,
feel it doesn't work because the content is so different, which is why independent artists are getting a chance. And that's why, like, you can see the Punjabi artists have been killing it.
yeah,
They've
completely.
understood that. They've always been doing their work,
Yeah.
but they've realized that now people want to listen to a lot of independent music. Badshah's also done an amazing job. It's just if you get the right song, the right packaging, and put it out correctly, people will love it because people want it.
Yeah, I agree. But also, since we are talking about movies, if you see in the recent past, South movies have been doing comparatively well, as
Yeah.
opposed to our Hindi films. Do you feel there's this divide between Hindi films and South films? The divide that we are talking about is North versus South.
I mean, it really shouldn't be, no? Because at the end of the
Mm,
day, it's one big movie industry. But of course, in terms of language, culture, the kind of subjects, they were diverse before, right? I mean, at the end of the day, what appealed to a certain audience doesn't always appeal to the other audience. It's still like that. But I think what's happened is that right now we're all at a point, we've come out of an incredibly difficult time in our lives for all of us, and everyone just wants to see things that are larger than life, that are entertaining, and that are well made. People are not in the mood to tolerate mediocrity.
mm,
So they're like, if you're gonna do something like in a big way, then you go all out. And we know that when it comes to that, like a lot of the Telugu movies are next level. And Tamil movies have always been amazing with content, and the Malayalam movies. So I think it's also kind of because of lockdown, a lot of the Hindi speaking audience, because of OTT, had access to regional movies, which they did not really pay attention to before.
mm,
And because they started seeing them, they were like, "Inka content to bada acha hai, humse to thoda different hai, it's entertaining." So suddenly that love for it grew. I know that I watched a lot of regional movies even in
mm,
lockdown. That happened with everybody. So suddenly your palette has become more diverse, and you want to see things that you haven't seen before. And you cannot deny that a movie like Pushpa was an outstanding film. Like, it's not to take it away from anyone. It was brilliant. The packaging, the story, the performances, the music. It was that movie that we were all craving. Now that full on entertainment, dhamal, masala that we needed to see
the mass
with great.
entertainment. Yeah,
Yeah, we just needed to see it, but it was made in such a fantastic way. The production values were so great. It was, I mean, mass class, everyone loved it, right? So we just needed that. And I think it's just been a while since we've had that in Bollywood.
yeah.
I do feel we are all one industry. There shouldn't be this south divide. At the end of the day, everyone should be learning from each other and working together to make this the greatest industry
Yeah.
all in one. But I do think that in lockdown, things did change and people are now much more open to watching dubbed movies, other language movies. And I think that's actually exciting.
Yeah,
And I also think it pushes everyone to do better work. And that's what it should be.
completely. But also,
In fact,
this
I'm
is
going to tell you, in fact, for
mm,
me,
yeah,
Uh, I did a cover version of Ooh Antava
yeah,
on
right.
Instagram, which went viral, and suddenly everyone thought I had sung the song, which I did not.
Yeah,
Indravati did, and amazing.
yeah.
But it's amazing that because of
Mm,
the amount of love I got for that,
mm,
and it almost suddenly gave everyone a jhatka into remembering that, huh, Sophie's a singer. Oh yeah,
yeah,
she sings. That actually, because of the response to that song, is why I quickly made Gori Hai.
right.
That's why I suddenly started working on Gori Hai, thinking, oh my God, I need to get a song out because of the response to that. So it's amazing, like what that can do, like social media can do, what other audiences can do for you, how they can encourage you. So all of that you have to take into consideration.
But I want to add that your cover version of Poo and Tawa was fantastic. I'm glad that you did it.
Thank
Huh.
you.
But this is a question from an industry perspective. Nowadays, before any Hindi film is about to release, there's this negativity that surrounds on social media. The thing that we are talking about is about the cancel culture that is prevalent in Bollywood. As an artist who has been an integral part of this industry, what do you think of it?
Of course, I think it's extremely sad because I think what people just kind of look at it कि just on the face of it कि इसकी film है इसको ban कर दो या इसको boycott कर दो. What about the entire crew and the entire team who've worked on this project? What about the months and years that have gone into planning? I mean, just to kind of boycott something without even knowing about it is, I feel like it's really unfair. I feel it's really sad. Go and see the movie, or let people go and see the movie if they want to see it. Don't prevent people from seeing anything, and let people judge for themselves. You're forgetting that a movie is not just about the star who's in it. It's about the entire team, and there's a massive crew. There's so many technicians. कितने लोगों का घर चलता है.
Exactly.
लोग अपनी जान देते हैं यहाँ काम करने
Hmm.
के लिए. So that you always have to remember. But
Hmm.
I feel like everyone has been in a bit of a negative space. And like I said, people are less tolerant now. So that happens. We just have to keep our heads down, keep working, trying to produce really good work, whether it's movies, music, or whatever, and just doing our best. And at the end of the day, all you can do is do your best. You can't please everybody, but you can do your best.
Absolutely. But thank you so much, Sophie, for doing this conversation. It
Thank
was such a lovely
you.
chat with you. And I wish
Thank you so
that
much.
Gori Hai grows better and better with each passing day.
Thank you so much.
So
I hope
much.
so too. And I hope see you doing the hook step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we got it right.
Thank you
So much. Thanks a lot.